Hello Glow Getters, Kaylin here, and as promised I'm going to be giving myself a Mandelic Acid nano-peel today just to show you all how you can get creative with the treatment and hopefully get your wheels turning as far as creativity goes. So I'm just going to walk you guys through the entire treatment from start to finish, and you're welcome to fast forward if any of this information is overkill. But I'm going to start with a pre-cleanse with the Herbal Skin Solutions Neroli Repair Oil. And oil is really great to use for a pre-cleanse. It helps to loosen up any dirt, debris, and makeup that's on the skin. So it just helps us to get a nicer, deeper clean when we go back in with the cleanser. So I just use about half a dropper full. And you could rub it into your face. You save on product if you tap it in. The skin absorbs it better this way. It smells amazing, so just take a nice deep breath. All right, so now that I've got that, I'll take my sponges, and you guys, I use a crystal singing bowl to charge my water. Now, the quality of water that you're using during a facial is so important. Oftentimes, city tap water has, fluoride and just other chemicals and trace amounts of like actual prescription drugs and things that I personally do not want to put in my body or on my skin, as when I'm doing a treatment like this. Okay, so pre-cleanse down. Oh, and what I'm doing with this crystal bowl is I'm actually charging the water. So I'm not sure if you can see the water vibrate, but I'm using a bowl whose key notes are tuned to the sacral chakra, which is like right at the navel center here. And the sacral chakra is what helps to strengthen our own intuition and help us to trust our path a bit more. So I'm trusting my skin journey, and that's really why I chose this bowl intuitively. So by playing the sound vibrations, it's actually, again, raising the frequency, the vibration, and the quality of the water. All right, so I've gloved up, and you guys, something I do before I start any treatment for myself or for someone else, before I get started, I wipe all of the lids and the caps and the sides of the bottles down with Cavi or Barbicide wipes. Just because, oftentimes you're touching bottles, you're moving them here and there, you have germs on your hands. So wipe those down, Lysol wipes, whatever you have. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm doing this treatment from home. If anybody walks down my street, you will hear our guard dog. So really, all you need is about a dime size amount of the hydrating B5 cleanser. And this cleanser really feels like a moisturizer when it goes on. It is soft and silky on the face, very hydrating. You're not stripping the skin in any way, shape, or form. And the B5 cleanser is nutrient enriched with a ton of different vitamins, herbs, and minerals. It's safe for all skin types. Great for sensitive skin, rosacea, especially great for acne clients too, because you're adding and helping to restore moisture within the pore instead of completely degrease their skin. Hang tight, guys. Another fun tool you can use for cleansing is my Skin Buddy. I just had to pull it off of the charger there. So my Skin Buddy is an ultrasonic device that helps to shake and shimmy the dirt and the debris out of the skin. And what I love most about it is it's really an alternative to Clarisonics, because, you know, Clarisonics can be very stripping, very harsh and abrasive, and they can actually do more harm than good. So I know I've already done that double cleanse, but I'm going to do one more just to show you how I like to use it. So cover the treated area in cleanser. And it has a few different settings. The first red warming setting is what I prefer to use for cleanse mode. And if I'm having breakouts, I'll turn it to the second warming setting, which is a acne cleanse mode. And I'm really gonna focus in here where I had that pesky breakout and the whole reason that I'm doing this treatment to begin with. So my Skin Buddy has a timer that's set to 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, it will stop running and you'll know that your treatment is complete. You can also use this to infuse serums into the skin and get better penetration of your topical products. I especially love it for cleansing. And when you're working on clients, for the estheticians that are watching this, it feels amazing if you take 2 Skin Buddies at the same time and do a whole manual lymphatic drainage pattern, or use it for facial massage. The vibration setting feels so good right here under the eyes, especially this time where the pollen count is really high and some of us have a little bit of congestion through the sinus cavity. It can really help facilitate that lymphatic drainage a bit more than just manually. Okay, so I'll clean that when I'm finished. Just wipe all this cleanser off my skin. Now, if I was working on a client, this would be a much more elegant cleanse, but you guys see I'm doing this treatment in my phone camera on myself, so it's not as fabulous. It's still pretty fabulous though. Okay, next up. So before we get started with our peel, because I am going to hit this with Mandelic Acid, and I wanted to show you guys how you can get creative with the Mandelic Acid peel instead of just applying it and calling it a day. But first, I want to make sure I clean out this pore really well. So I'm using the Cyan Ultrasonic Skin Scrubber. It's a skin spatula, so you can use it. You can use it 2 different ways. You can either use it flat after you apply serum to infuse product into the skin, or you can spritz a facial mist or a toner. I prefer to use our Herbal Hydrating Mist with lavender and chamomile because it is kind of like an aura mist. It just smells amazing. So I use that aura mist. I'll power it on. I like to set it to high, and I'm actually going to use this to extract. You guys will see some marks on the scrubber from the mist that's coming off my face. Wow, do you guys see all of that? Scooge. So satisfying. And you definitely need to keep the skin wet, so if you need to reapply mist or toner, go for it. The skin has to be wet. All right, and I'm just doing but seriously, look at that. This is just a very quick version to show you guys. But if you have something to extract, you can really get in there and use the corners here to shake and shimmy all the dirt and debris out of the pore. Sebum, all that good stuff. All right, So I'm gonna switch my gloves because these still have some cleanser remnants on it. And we're going to prep for the peel. Okay, so we are going to be doing a nano peel today, and there's a ton of different ways you guys can use these peels. We have the Mandelic Acid 25%, which is ideal for acne prone skin and for lifting pigment. And we also have the Pro Glow 55% peel, which is a mixture of glycolic acid, kojic, lactic, malic, and other antioxidants like vitamin C and bearberry. And the Pro Glow peel is going to be more ideal for age management and skin resurfacing. I feel like my skin is pretty sensitized right now, just from all the climate changes and flying I've been doing. Mandelic acid is really the peel for sensitive skin because it is a larger molecule. So it sits on the surface of the skin and penetrates much more slowly, which can also allow it to be less irritating. So I'm gonna go with Mandelic Acid. And if you wanted to keep it simple, you could apply the professional prep solution, apply your peel, which if you're just doing one layer, you're very unlikely to peel because it's so gentle and superficial, but you can boost it, which is the cool thing. And following that, you could rinse with cool water and neutralize. My skin loves Mandelic Acid. I have a tiny little spot here on my forehead that is slowly fading away because I have been interchanging needling with Mandelic Acid every few weeks. So this is my jam. I actually apply it once a week and I will sleep in it to strengthen the acid and get better results. So that's what I use every week to exfoliate instead of a physical exfoliator. And I feel that this gentle approach is much less abrasive, and I see a better result in my skin this way. That's not to say it's the same for everyone. This is just my experience. So a few other ways you can get creative with this peel would be layering it when adding more pressure as you're applying to strengthen the peel. You could also apply it and keep it on the skin beneath an enzyme mask. What I'm going to do is cocktail it with a few of my favorite serums, and from there we're going to nano infuse it into the skin. So I'm going to add about 1 milliliter to this little dish here. And you guys, another exciting key point to keep in mind with both of these, the Mandelic and the Pro Glow peel, is that if you are using either peel with the prep solution and neutralizer and you're using 2 ml of each, which should be enough to get a full face, your average cost per treatment is only $1.73. Pretty amazing. The average cost per treatment starts at about $60 for a basic peel, and if you're incorporating a full facial into it or the nano peel, it goes up to about $185, depending on what area you're in. Okay, so next step is the cocktailing. For those of you that didn't know me in my past life, I was a bartender. When I say past life, I mean like 10 years ago. Okay, so we are cocktailing the vitamin C plus enhancement serum. This is packed with brighteners and lighteners and tighteners. So we have vitamin C and multiple derivatives of, which is really necessary for lightening the melanin in the skin. Ferulic acid, which is great for age management. We also have hyaluronic to add that bounce and turgidity back to our skin. Licorice root for more brightening. And I'm going to be mixing this with the EGF cellular activator. Now, the EGF is a biomimicking peptide, polypeptide. It's packed with 4 different types of peptides, you guys. So cool. Complex. And this is really ideal for age management because peptides help to add that bounce back to our skin, and it's also incredibly healing for acne lesions. which is, again, what I'm trying to work on here. Okay, so a couple pumps of EGF, a few pumps of the vitamin C enhancement serum, and we're going to prep our CIT pen. Okay, so here's our CIT protective sleeve. I'm going to cut the tip off so I can slide the device through. And this protective sleeve is really just to help further prevent against cross-contamination and really to keep my device like new. So I'm going to show you guys, we have a variety of 2 different needle cartridges for nano infusion. There is the silicone, which you can see is a smaller square-like chip compared to the surgical steel, which is round and has a wider diameter. I typically choose to use the surgical steel cartridge when I'm doing a full face compared to an eye lift, just because I can finish a treatment much more quickly with that wider diameter than I can with the smaller chip. But both of them do the same exact thing. Neither work past the stratum corneum. Neither penetrate farther than 1/4 of a millimeter deep into the skin, so it's very superficial. You're merely driving topical products into the epidermis. So typically when you're applying topical products, you're only getting between 3 and 10% product absorption. And when you're using a tool like nano infusion with a CIT pen to drive it into the skin, you're getting up to 97% better absorption. So you'll definitely see boosted results to go with that. You guys could use a gloved finger to apply the product. Sometimes I'll use sterile pipettes if I'm in the treatment room. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and use a fan brush. And I'm going to avoid the delicate under eye skin here. I know some use like petroleum jelly to occlude the eye area and the lips. I'm going to be very careful not to hit those areas. Right now I'm going to make sure I tuck my lips in so I don't get peel on that sensitive, delicate skin. I've got my device set to the bare minimum, 0.25. That's really all I need. And I'm on the highest speed. So I feel a tiny bit of tingling right now. On a scale from 1 to 10, it's probably a 2. It's totally normal to feel the active ingredients, especially for someone that regularly exfoliates. If you're working on a client that has a lot of dead keratinized skin, they will likely not feel much at all because there's so much dead skin to work through. So you guys can work, in a crosshatch pattern like this, side to side, up and down. You want to do about 4 passes or until you start to see the erythema in the skin. And when you start to see this pinkness, this erythema, that is an indicator that you have brought the blood up just beneath the treatment area. And that allows the oxygen and nutrients to pump through the blood to the treatment site, which will also bring forth a glow in the skin. So you can work in crosshatch pattern. You can also do circular motions, which are really helpful for these small, harder to reach areas. I love the feeling of nano infusion. If I'm ever getting the treatment for myself, almost always kind of days off, it feels like almost like a massage, like a vibrating massage on your face. It's very relaxing. had many clients fall asleep during the treatment, which is always a great compliment. I love when people are that relaxed. Now, for any of you watching this video that may not be a professional, unfortunately, you are not permitted to purchase these products from Herbal Skin Solutions. You have to have a professional account, and in order to activate a professional account, you must send in proof of licensure or proof that you're currently enrolled in an aesthetic program. And that's because, you know, even though these acids are very gentle, there's quite a bit of damage that can be done for someone that is not trained, who's not familiar with chemistry and skincare, chemistry of the acids, and how that interacts with the layers of our skin. Also, you know, because our microneedling device, this is a microneedling device, even though I'm using the nano infusion cartridge, we do not believe that consumers should have access to microneedling because there's so much that can go wrong in a treatment. I mean, secondary infections, granulomas, just to name a few. I mean, sometimes it's very possible for a client to end up with darker pigmentation than what they came in with if they're not a trained professional and they're not educated on the service properly. But just so you guys know, there's no negative side effect to microneedling. All the negative side effects come from either improper patient selection or your client not following proper post-care. We have a ton of different protocols for these peels online. You can find our full chemical peel portfolio as well as the simplified protocols under each of the peels product listings online. And we also have a bundle package where you can purchase all of the peels with the professional prep solution and the neutralizer together with our pH balancing toner. And I like to use the toner after I neutralize the skin. If I do neutralize the skin, most of the time with Mandelic Acid, I do not. Just to strengthen the peel, I'll leave it on for about 4 hours and have the clients rinse off. Or for me personally, I will sleep in this tonight and rinse off in the morning. But with the Pro Glow, I always neutralize. And after you rinse off the peel, always, it's important to use the pH balancing toner so you can restore the skin back to its neutral pH and infuse it with the vitamin C and all of the other vitamins that are in that blend. Okay, this will be my last pass here on my forehead. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna hit this little spot one more time. So the more that you layer this peel and the more pressure that you give, which with nano infusion you are adding more pressure, the more you are strengthening the peel, which is also strengthening or adding to your chances of seeing physical peeling, which is always important to remind the client before they go forth with the treatment, just to make sure that they understand and they accept all of that. Okay, so you guys can see I still have the peel on. My skin is looking nice and a little pink and glowy. That's great. That means we brought the blood right underneath the treatment area. Now I'm going to do nano infusion under my eye to plump that. So because there's a peel on the surgical steel tip and I really don't want to infuse that into the delicate skin around my eye or plump my lips, I'm going to switch cartridges. So I'm going to use the silicone nano infusion cartridge. And this is the cartridge I typically always lean towards when I'm doing a eye lift, just because it is a smaller chip, which allows you to feel a bit less vibration when you're working on the eye, and it's such a weird sensation, unlike anything you've ever felt before, so I like to keep it pretty gentle. I am using the Cyan Pure Hyaluronic Acid Serum. We also distribute the anti-age hyaluronic. This texture of the cyan is my favorite. It's very silky and soft, and it goes on in a very elegant way. Now, very important, anytime you're using anything other than sterile saline, you must be extremely careful, because if any of this product gets in the eye, it will need to be rinsed immediately and it will likely burn. So in order to avoid pushing product into the eye, you're only ever going to work in outer sweeping motions. And with this, you can work all the way up to the lash line on the lower and upper lid, because you're not breaking past the stratum corneum. So this is really great for depuffing the eyes, brightening dark under eyes, which, you know, I have hereditary dark eyes. Thank you, Cherokee Bloodline. But it really helps to plump and lighten that under eye just from bringing all the nutrients to the treated area. And the hyaluronic always gives a nice plumping effect. I've had a lot of success using a bunch of different other serums, really. The Victoria Deanne peptides are great. Lash enhancement serums, Revitalash, Lash Food. And as much as I want to do my upper lid, I did not rinse off that makeup, so we're going to skip my top lids. But let's add some hydration to my lips. So you can go right over the vermilion border to plump and directly over the lip. This will help to smooth lip lines, giving that hyaluronic plumping effect. This is what I love to do right before I go out in front of other skinfluencers. Have a night out, date night. If I want nice juicy lips, this is the treatment for it. All right, there you have it. Okay, so just to recap all of this, I cocktailed our Mandelic Acid 25% with the Vitamin C Enhancement Serum and the EGF Cellular Activator. I nano-infused that into my skin. I am going to leave this on overnight, rinse with cool water in the morning. From there, I'm going to restore the pH of my skin back to normal using the pH balance. And from there, I'll go ahead and I'll apply my serums, the same ones I infused with, minus the Mandelic, apply my tinted moisturizer, and be on with my day. So I really hope this video encourages all of you to get creative with your protocols, have fun, keep me updated and in the loop with what you're trying. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. All right, glow getters, have a beautiful day.